What is up, my family? Today we're going to do an in-depth tour of what's on my iPhone or iPhones because I actually have two. I always hear that this is a red flag for men, but actually this one I use for all creative purposes and this one is used for all personal use and some work on the side too. So we'll go ahead and get started on what's on my iPhone. Everything I go over today is basically how I manage everything that's on my iPhone solely for organization purposes, making sure to tackle all tasks that are at hand and making sure I'm maximizing my productivity in every way I can, utilizing all apps and widgets to the best of my ability. But first, I'll go over personalization and how I set everything up. We'll start from the beginning, and basically what I'll show you is my wallpaper. So my wallpaper is actually all of my cats. And as you see, this is Stripes. He ran away a long time ago, but this is how I miss him. I have Tinkerbell right here. I have Noodle. I have Stripes again, Tinkerbell again. We got Noodle. We got Mocha, of course. And lastly, we got Tiger. So I have all of my cats that I've had from my past and to this day on here. But if I ever want to switch them, I also have Mocha, Stripes, Tiger, Stripes, Tinkerbell, and then a bunch of Porsches because, you know, I love that car brand more than anything. So now go ahead and start deep on what's on my homepage. My homepage is essentially a collection of everything I use on the daily, whether it's my clock, my Monday work app to make sure I'm getting in the flow of things, my camera app, my photos, files to make sure all my files are organized, notes because I use that for all, mainly like short-term tasks and goals that I have set, as well as like scripting and things that I need to take care of. Also my settings, I love the new passwords features that they have on iOS 18. And lastly, I have a creativity folder that basically stores everything that I use for all of my content creation purposes. So first I'll dive into everything I use for productivity. Since I have notes right here to also make sure all my organization is clear, I also have a bunch of folders that are set for everything I need to use, whether it's social media, whether it's for my home, my utilities and mail, things that I used to sell a lot of stuff back in the day, whether it was clothes and shoes. So things for sales, finance that carries all of, whether it's stocks, my bank information, my credit cards that need to be paid, lifestyle are basically apps of brands that I use pretty much a lot, entertainment for all Netflix, HBO Max purposes, and packages to make sure I'm getting everything I need. So let's dive into the main thing of productivity. I have everything organized so I can make sure that I'm productive as much as possible. So if we go to the left here, right here, I have my weather, my battery to make sure everything's here, and then my Notion also has a widget over here. So I use Notion a lot, mainly for long-term goals, as well as lists and things that I need to store that I'll use for more long-term purposes, whether it's like my packing list, whether it's all the gear I'll need for maybe going for snowboarding, companies to reach out to, whether I want to work with them and partner with them, posting dates, video scripts, everything is stored in here to make sure I have it all organized. I love using Notion. I think it's a great app. I love the look of it, as well as having it all set up the way I wanted to. I've obviously done my goals on here for many years and I still have yet to do, although it is already 2025, I still have to set up my 2025 goals. I'm a little behind, but you know, it's never too late to set your goals where you need to. Next, we have notes. And as you can see, I have a lot of them. I have about 1,180 notes, and these are all organized and taken care of. Whenever I go on trips and I'm riding in the plane, I will usually go in, sit down and start going into them, making sure I'm deleting everything I don't need and writing up stuff that I do need on here. I think the Notes app is very aesthetic and I feel like it's like a small version of Notion for me. So I use it for all short-term things, whether it's task lists, things to do, and even just smaller things like video ideas. So I'll take the video ideas from the Notes app and then transfer them to Notion and just script them out. I sometimes like scripting out stuff in Notes too because it's easier to type in, and then just transfer it to Notion to make sure I'm always keeping. I love doing bookkeeping a lot, so whenever tax season runs around, I actually like doing it with my CPA because I just enjoy having everything on record and making sure it's there for whenever I need it. Next, let's jump into my favorite, and that is obviously music. I love listening to music. I also have all my playlists set up on Apple Music as well as Spotify, but I'm an avid Spotify user. I've been using it since about 2012. I remember when I first used it, the free version was amazing on desktop, and I downloaded it on my original iPhone 4. And when I had it on there, I was so excited to listen to my music, but then I found out that you don't get the desktop version on your phone and you can't just listen to music whenever you want. You had to listen to like, it was like very playlist style, so you had to listen to whatever they had served for you. So we'll go ahead and jump into Spotify, and as you can see, I have everything organized here too. Right here, I have all my playlists, whether it's cozy tapes, workouts, whether it's throwback music, South Asian Desi music, Arabic music, or Spanish music. And I just love the interface of Spotify. I enjoy it with all the dark mode features, and listen to Drake as much as I can. My top 5 list came out to Drake, The Weeknd, Travis Scott, Future, and Metro Boomin. And I'm very surprised. I think Cardi may have made the list, but I'm trying to remember. That was my top 5 for Spotify this year. If you need access to all my playlists, it is available in the description. So anytime you need to listen to it, also I need to go in and update them for you. And they are available on Apple Music as well. The main thing I use to listen to music are my AirPods Max. I take these everywhere with me. I usually use them at the gym on the daily and going on trips mainly. And whenever they get dirty, because the sweat buildup, I usually use a bandana in the gym to make sure that the sweat doesn't build up inside of the earmuffs, but they do. So I make sure to clean them all the time with a little neat trick I have. But when it comes to working at coffee shops or anywhere around town, my AirPods Pros that I've had, I think these are still first gen AirPod Pros. I put these in my laptop case and I take them with me. And whenever I need to listen to music, I just throw these on because they're so much easier to listen to. I don't like in-ear headphones though, most because I feel like it hurts my ears, but I like being in the Apple ecosystem because I feel like everything integrates very easily. So as you know, the Japan vlog is still in the works, as well as Thailand vlog, because I just came back from Thailand a couple weeks ago as well. But until then, I'll let you know a little thing I do whenever I travel to new places, and that is when I go into the clock app. If you go to my world clock, I always add in every city that I've been to make sure I have the time for it all the time. It's a little neat trick I do. I also try to do it for weather, but I don't think I've kept up with it as much as I do right now. Dallas is about to experience a very severe freeze. I'm hoping it snows on Thursday or Friday so I can make something special for you. And I also have a bunch of other cities on here too, but I don't do it as much as I do the clock app because I feel like I actually need the weather app way more, and I need to know what the weather is in Dallas and not, Florence. So the next thing we'll talk about is my camera settings. And I'll be gatekeeping this because I keep it to myself. But when it comes to photos and videos, I use certain settings with my iPhone because I like shooting on my iPhone. I'm sure there are plenty of other phones that have amazing megapixels, whatever it is. I just prefer shooting on iPhone. The reason I love the iPhone Apple ecosystem is because of how user-friendly it is. That is the main reason I use it. I feel like when it comes to it, yes, Android has amazing hardware, but I think when it comes to software, Apple just takes the cake in terms of user-friendliness. And I feel like they've done a really good job at letting you do more custom things over time. I used to have an Android a long time ago. I had a Galaxy S3, so way before. I think we're like, what, S21 now? I don't know. But I've had an iPhone ever since the iPhone 4. I had the S3, and then I went back to iPhone 5. And I've had an iPhone ever since. I love the product, and I think it's great. I feel like a lot of people are always talking about how, oh, Apple's not innovating or anything anymore. But I feel like we've reached a point where there's peak smartphone where there's not really much that can be improved. I think it's like the same thing with cars, like what else are we going to add to vehicles to make them better? But next we'll jump into the camera now, and my camera settings are this right here. On video, I record everything 4K at 60 frames per second. Although Instagram and TikTok, whenever I'm posting my short form content on there or YouTube Shorts, I will downgrade all the content to 1080p, 30 frames per second. I always have a superstition that I feel like if I change it, like something might change. Like I already have it set that way, so I just use it that way. I hardly ever use cinematic, and I very rarely ever shoot in slow-mo. But outside of that, I also do like making sure to take pictures. So when it comes to pictures, what you need to do is go to formats, and rather than using high efficiency, which will give you an HEIC format type, that when you transfer it to your computer or something, that's what it pops up, change it to most compatible, and then you'll be able to get JPG pictures. It will take up more space, so make sure that you have enough space. I have both 512 gigs on each of my phones because I need it. I also have 6 terabytes of iCloud because I purchase it every month because I have a lot of videos on my phone. If we were going to my photos right now, I currently have, okay, I'll be honest though, I don't like this new iOS 18 photos update. I do not like it. Please bring back the original. I don't know how to get to it. Let's see, I have like 22.3K videos, but once I have all my videos and pictures ready, when it comes to my videos, I have a folder that's on the front called Creativity. In Creativity, I have my YouTube studio to manage everything that's YouTube. I have the app that I use to edit all my videos. It's called Splice, and I use that to edit everything, but I use that on my work phone versus my personal, and sometimes on my personal whenever I need to do quick things. I have Retouch, which I use for photos in order to make people disappear, but now that iOS 18 has erase, sometimes that works better. It just depends on where the person in the back is that you need to disappear. I have frame.io. You know, whenever I'm doing camera work, majority of YouTube, I get a lot of help from my boy Zane, and whenever he's sending me videos, I need to type in notes, comments of what we should do, change, or something like that. So we use frame.io to make sure we're sending videos to each other. And then lastly, I have ChatGPT because I feel like ChatGPT helps me with everything. If you click my action button, that's what it's set up when it comes to, my action button is the button over here now that it's changed from the ringer button, and that's what it opens whenever I click it. I even set it up for my dad since he's been using ChatGPT now too. But since I don't have ringer right over there, I have it set up here in my control center. So obviously the regular, I have the do not disturb, I have the lock orientation. Now that the ringer is over there, I put it over here. Flashlight, calculator, camera, low battery mode, Shazam, translate, which is very helpful whenever I am traveling, as well as screen mirroring, and then obviously brightness and volume, as well as music at the top. When it comes to my widgets, what I have set up is, I kind of touched on it earlier, but I have weather right here to show me what is happening at every hour. I have my battery, so whenever my AirPods are set up and connected to this, and also my Notion to jump into things that I need to look into really quickly. I have the calendar app, so I use the calendar app and make sure all my events are planned. I like making sure that I am on time everywhere I go. Occasionally, for the most part, it's not that I'm bad with time management, it's sometimes I take a little too long to get ready. Y'all seen the hygiene routine, so it takes me a little bit more time, and making sure that I have everything set up, whether it's payments that are due, some things that are not on auto pay that I like doing just to make sure, for my mind, and make sure it's all set up. I have a widget for Spotify to see what everything I've listened to recently, and that's about it for widgets. I don't have really much else that I really need. Since we're talking about widgets, since I don't focus them as much as I do, what really I try to make sure is my folders and making sure I have all those. So like I said earlier, I have the creativity one set up. I also have multiple folders up here. One for fitness that has all my memberships, and also like MyFitnessPal and fitness app from Apple. All social to make sure I have all my social media set up. Home that basically goes over all like home electronics and things that I need to use in my place. Utilities and mail, because you know, mail so much. I'm surprised I have no notifications from Gmail right now. I don't think I remember clearing it out. Also finance to make sure I'm staying on top of all my bills and making sure everything is paid, everything that's on auto pay is being paid correctly. Make sure to watch what you're paying for, because you know, sometimes they get you on the subscriptions and you don't know what you're paying for. Lifestyle to make sure I'm using all the apps I use, you know, whether it's getting gas at Chevron, whether it's picking up Chick-fil-A, whether it's getting flights on American Airlines, whatever it may be, shopping on Amazon or any of the closed places I shop on, as well as entertainment when it comes to all of the streaming services, and also packages to make sure everything that's coming in, I know what's coming in as well. But essentially, that is everything that is on my iPhone. Our phones know us better than we know ourselves, and I have to make sure that everything is set up whenever I have it. Lastly, I just want to say, I didn't talk about my ringer, and that's because most of the time I am on silent mode. I'm not on do not disturb, but I am on silent. I just like feeling the vibrate whenever it's on. I don't like that loud sound. But essentially, that is everything that's on my iPhone. I would love to hear what is on your iPhone. If there's any ways I can maximize my productivity, I would love to learn it from you as well. If there's any tips that helped you from me, let me know. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and turn on notifications for the next video, and I'll see you next time.